Hi, my name is Terry. I have 3 college degrees, including a master's degree from an Ivy League university. I'm fluent in 2 languages, and I have a commercial driver's license, which allows me to operate heavy trucks, and I still can't find a job. My girlfriend's been working at a fast food restaurant for the last 9 years, but what she really wants to do is be an elementary school teacher. So every day I'm going to be coming on here and telling you guys stories about things that I think are cool or interesting, and then I'm going to teach you a little bit of Spanish until I can earn enough money to send my girl to teaching school. So today we're talking about the famous marshmallow test. If you haven't heard of this before, you're in for a treat. No pun intended. So, the test was conducted by a Stanford psychologist named Walter Mischel in the late 1960s, and he was trying to determine how children resist temptation. So what he did was he placed treats in front of children between the ages of 3 to 5 years old. And the children were taught that they could either eat the treat, or if they waited a few minutes, they would be given a second one as well. The children who held out for 15 minutes received a second marshmallow. That's the basis. So, most of the children gobbled their marshmallow up immediately. But years later, and this wasn't a part of the initial plan, but Mischel followed up with the almost 650 kids when they were in high school. And the kids who held out were doing much better academically with fewer social problems. On average, the children who held out had SAT scores that were 210 points higher than the children who ate their marshmallow in the first 30 seconds. New Zealand researchers performed a similar study with over 1,000 people all the way from birth to the time that they were 32 years old. And the kids with low impulse control were significantly more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol. They were also more likely to struggle with obesity, to work at low-paying jobs, to have been in prison at one point in their life, and even to have a sexually transmitted disease. Contrary, participants with higher impulse control were healthier, wealthier, more likely to have stable marriages, and be raising children in 2-parent households. So, some people view this as a simple measure of character, identifying the kids with the strongest self-control. But in 2010, researchers ran the test again with a new wrinkle. Before the kids received their first marshmallow, some of them had an encounter showing the adults to be unreliable. They told them that if they waited a few minutes, they would receive some new and exciting art supplies to play with. But then they didn't deliver. After this, almost all the kids gobbled up their marshmallow immediately. But other kids had the same encounter with the adults, but the adults did follow through. Most of them waited for the second. And so the kids who failed didn't have less intrinsic impulse control. They were simply responding rationally to the fact that the adults who had promised them a second marshmallow had already proven themselves to be untrustworthy. See, if people don't trust the system, or if they've been given a reason to believe that their discipline won't really be rewarded, then they have no incentive to exercise impulse control or to practice delayed gratification in order to receive success later on. So, the Spanish I'm going to be teaching you today is Tengo autocontrol. Tengo autocontrol. Tengo autocontrol. And what that means is, I have self-control. If you like this video or you learned something new, drop a like down below. If you'd like to support this work that I do, there'll be a link to the Cashapp in the description box. And if you have a topic that you'd like to see me cover, leave a comment for me down below. We'll see you next time.